everyone. Welcome to today's rendition of Blonde Intelligence with no makeup on. So, today we have a very special guest, Mr. Pete from the Netherlands, and I am going to let you tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Sweet. So first of all, actually, NL stands for Newfoundland, Canada, which is
Okay.
a very common mistake that I get literally every time I talk to somebody, and
Okay.
a lot of packages that get sent to the Netherlands as well, and then I gotta
Okay.
wait a month. So, but yeah, I'm from Newfoundland, Canada. I'm 23
Okay.
years old, and I'm just trying to make some music right now. I've been doing this what I'm calling a pop music study.
Okay.
I'm basically trying to figure out what kind of genre I fit into and what I'm enjoying the most. And so I'm just kind of releasing music every 2 weeks right now,
Oh,
um,
wow.
in order to like kind of play with some different writers, play with some different styles, and just have a lot of fun too. I got my degree in music production, and
Okay.
after I graduated, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I went to musical theater for a bit and did some work there, did some writing, and now I'm trying this and just trying to figure it out, and I'm having a lot more fun. I'm having a lot more fun making music, for making music.
Okay. I listened to the song. I really enjoyed the song. And
Oh,
that's
I'm
the reason
glad.
why I asked you if you want to come on. So I want you to give me a little bit of background about that song. How did you come up with that concept? And how did you enjoy working with the producer for it? I mean, how did you even, is it just relevant to the time or was it something that you was going through? So just give me a little background on that.
For sure. So the song was written. The first songs for the idea happened when I was with my girlfriend, and we went to a lake to watch the sunset.
Give us the name of it.
Oh yeah, it was quite the sunset. So the sunset, when the sunset happened, I noticed there was a lady sitting in her Jeep, and she was all alone. And I just kind of like jokingly said, "Wow, that'd be a good idea for a song." And then as the year went on, each one of my siblings experienced heartbreak.
Hmm.
My brother and his longtime girlfriend split up, but they actually ended up getting back together, and she's pregnant now.
Okay.
And my older sister went into a divorce, and my
Hmm.
youngest sister had her boyfriend pass away, and
Hmm.
so all three of them have felt some sort of heartbreak, some sort of love loss, and that the chorus is "I don't know if I can love again." So the whole song is kind of based around the idea of this lady. The first line is his '98 Jeep sits parked at sunset, and so the whole song is based around her emotions throughout her car ride / her sunset. But it's very much dedicated to my siblings who have all felt that pain recently,
Okay.
and are kind of continuing to move through it and still wondering if they'll love again. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you told me that you've been releasing music every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So how does this particular song, um, I guess normally when you have a release, you know, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to submit to Spotify,
Right.
to make sure that you register for the charts, to make sure that you have all your encodes. So how is this song fitting in with what you're trying to do for your career as a whole? I mean, every 2 weeks is fast. I mean, so what are you doing for promotion? How are you getting it out there to actually make a mark with you doing it so fast?
That's an excellent question, and honestly, it's something I'm still figuring out. So what I've learned from my very short time of actual like practice at reality of actually doing it has only been I started on July 1st with that song.
Okay.
I don't, and since then I released two on the first day, and then one right the week after, and one again. And now today actually I'm releasing my fifth. So that's the first of the 2 week breaks. So there's been a lot, and that's a
Okay,
good.
so what do you consider a release? What are the steps that you're taking in the release?
So in a release, I'm literally classifying a release as just the Spotify single hits, or sorry, not the Spotify single, the single hits streaming services. So once it's mass available, and now what I've learned since starting that is that there's a lot of these background steps that I definitely didn't know about, which is interesting. For example, submitting to you and to have you listen to my music and get your opinion on it. Even that, to me, that's a new concept. So what I've kind of been doing is, well, first of all, I've been working for months and months and released in July, but I started far back before quarantine and all that fun. And so I have all these press kits and I have all these photos and blah 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 for general things that I've learned from school or learned just from general watching. But I'm definitely suffering and finding it difficult to keep up, but definitely keeping up with all these new steps of, for example, submitting to radio play. I'm also noticing I feel like I have an interesting spot in where I sit in my career, because I don't feel like anybody knows me at all. But I feel like I've got some interesting experiences that have happened in my life. Like I've toured twice. I've done some European exchanges with singing, and I've recorded all throughout North America. So like I have all these interesting experiences, but I don't have any name. So I'm finding all these invisible steps that like connect those two things. If that makes any sense. I guess I'm just starting to become a professional.
So, have you opened for anybody?
No, I've been doing mostly musical theater and actually, do you know what? Yeah, just musical theater. I've been doing a lot of musical theater stuff my whole life, and a lot of. You haven't
performed with any virtual shows yet?
I've done one virtual show. I've done one online concert on July 1st, and that's on my YouTube and my Facebook, which can all be found facebook.com or youtube.com/PDMacD.
Okay. Have you performed on any virtual shows with other artists, other things that other people have put together?
No, unfortunately not yet. I've been performing.
Once this minute is over with, I'm going to give you some information.
Please do.
I will. So, I know you told me about the single and that you've been releasing singles every 2 weeks. So what are the other singles that you have released?
The other singles I have, one is called Sleep is for the Weak. And that's actually a song that I wrote with my band back in grade 5. And we've removed it and blah, 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 re-recorded it. Okay. And so that came out, and that's more of it's kind of the same vibe as, I don't know, but it's more Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then I've done another song called Running from the Moon, which I wrote with this girl named Sydney Clemenson, and she's done a whole bunch of great stuff. She's from Palm Desert. Well, actually, I think she's from Iowa, but currently living in Palm Desert. And so that's more of a folk rock, but it's all single guitar. It's very John Mayer is what I keep getting as a response, which is very nice to hear. I'll take it.
I know he's done a song about daughters that I like.
yeah, daughter. Oh, how does that fathers be good to your daughter?
Yeah.
Great tune.
I like that.
And then I've got another song called Stars in the Desert. And that song was actually written while I was away working with Sydney. It was my first time in California. And I looked up at the sky and went, wow, those are like, the stars in the desert are just so clear. You just got to write about them. And so that's my other tune. And that's more R&B is what I keep getting for that. But I consider it more like an alt rock. I guess alt rock R&B is a good word for it. And then today, finally, the last one that's out now is called Roll the Dice, My Dear. And that's a very old blues, like so you're kind
of like everywhere. You're all over. So what is it that you want to be known for? What is your signature sound? And how
I'm learning pretty quickly that I like the R&B sound. I like this I like the bluesy kind of sound, even more funk. That's what I'm learning. What I kind of want to start directing my songs towards. At least that's the kind of thing that I like thinking about musically. The like more jazzy side of R&B, the more like the dirtier side of blues. But I also really enjoy. I don't know any other word for it except for just the loudness. There's something about pop music that I just like. So
So who is your favorite artist?
my favorite artist right now, I've been loving, weirdly enough, right now I've been loving Jacob Collier. I've been just dying for some of his music. But also besides that, I mean, like my actual all-time favorite is Elton John. So classic rock. Just because I'm a big,
I like Elton John.
I'm a big sucker for the piano and vocal. And I really think he does some great, whoa, big brain fart. I really think he does a great job. Yeah.
So, your main, I guess, genre you're saying is pop. So, are you trying to get into TV, film, just doing live performances, a whole album? I mean, what is the concept for your career?
I think radio and live performance is where I'd like to be.
Okay.
I know I really enjoy performing it. I've been doing it for a very long time, even though it hasn't been necessarily leading a band. I've been doing a lot of performing, and I think that's what I like to do. But I also really like the idea of being on radio. That's fun.
Okay.
That's interesting to me. That's cool. It's part of the whole driving down the highway and turning on the radio and there's that tune. And I want.
So have you had any radio play yet?
No, not with any of these songs. I'm hoping, but that's a lie. I got the song that was out today. Sorry, the song that was out today. I just before this got a notification saying that it was played on. I can't even tell you the radio station. But
that's okay. That's okay. So right now, currently, how this is going is you're probably number 4 because I also release the video that goes on the video channels. So right now, today, give me your stage name.
Pete.
This is Pete. Pete has 3 singles. Name your singles, Pete.
Right. I Don't Know. Sleep is for the Weak. And Stars in the Desert.
And we can find you where?
You can find me at youtube.com/PDMacD or on Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook, TikTok, Insta, all under PDMacD.
What's your social media handle?
PDMacD, PETEYMACD.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would want us to know about you?
That's an excellent question. Do you know what? I am not prepared for that question. I'm going to say no. I wish I did. I wish I was more prepared for that.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this. With you being a new artist, how has COVID-19 affected your plans for this year, musically?
Right. It's definitely made it more interesting. I wouldn't say it's made it harder, and I wouldn't say it's made it easier. It's just made it more interesting because I think that I knew I was going to be starting. So I knew I was expecting to be trying to take Newfoundland, the place I live, by storm and hitting a lot of live gigs. But nobody's doing that. So nobody can really get ahead. So I find it interesting that I have to be stuck in my room so nobody can really get ahead in the live scene. But now we're all kind of, in Newfoundland especially, competing to see what happens online and who we can get to watch. Right? Okay. Does that make any sense?
Yes,
so
it does.
It's just been an interesting time, especially for Newfoundland musicians. I think, globally everybody, but Newfoundland musicians, because it's a place that's just, for example, so small. And I don't mean to be rude. It's so small. Like people think it's the Netherlands, right? Like it's so small. So we don't have much of a union. We don't have much of a real group, like a core group of people in the industry who are helping the younger people go up. So it's kind of everybody who has been performing for so long or is trying to be relevant in Newfoundland and has been live. You're kind of watching them scramble to get into this pool, and I think it's very interesting. I keep saying that, but yeah, I do.
So have you had any DJs playing your music?
Yeah, I've had a couple local, but nobody's. It's mostly on like we're allowed to have very small gatherings now, and we just the other day got approved for 50 people gatherings, I think,
Wow.
which is great. Yeah, but we also had two new cases like yesterday or something. So blah blah. But
Well, you know, we're in the U.S. and it's just
I know. I am sorry. I can only imagine
yeah.
the
I stay
frustration.
in, and
Yeah,
if
I
I
can
have to
only
go out,
imagine.
I wear 2 masks.
That's a great call, honestly. And just
I wear
Luke, just tons and tons of Purell. Just shower in
yes,
Purell.
yes.
Oh,
I actually made some.
yeah, you made some?
Yes, I used aloe vera and I used some baca.
Yes, but that's crazy. That's too cool.
Well, at the particular time, you know, not only with music, but with household supplies and everything, when everybody heard about COVID, I mean, it just threw everything into a tizzy because I was managing an artist at the time, and all the shows that I had booked for him, all of them got postponed. And that's what they're saying, they're postponed right now. But I think that they're going to be canceled or they're either going to change them over to virtual.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Virtual seems to be kind of the way that everybody's going now for shows, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm working with a league on. It was supposed to have been a live performance that they were having, and it had been in planning for over a year,
Hmm.
and they had to move it over to virtual. And the only thing with virtual with people, you can go live and live stream, or you can pre-record it.
Right.
And I think that especially with um, people having fever and being locked in and everything, I think that doing the live virtual performances is going to be very lucrative for the artists
Yeah.
because they're still going to be able to make that money.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think that I think that with COVID and artists, it's either a make or break situation. You're going to get out there and hustle to make happen what needs to be happen, or you're going to sit back and you're just going to wait for everything to settle back down, which may not settle back down.
Yeah.
So I think that with this, it has definitely shown who's the hustlers and who's the lazy ones.
Yeah, seriously. And it really is like it's cuz nobody's I mean online's not new, but it's new. Like I keep saying to myself that all these crappy parts about online are all stuff that we have to fix. Like it's just what's the era that we're in. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like what we're stuck
Hmm.
with, and now we're forced to be moving the music scene online. When I feel like in the past there was such a fight to it from artist perspective because it's harder to make money. It's less. It's harder to just track your work. You can't really keep
Well,
track
they're
of everything.
making that easy. That's
They
easier
are
now. They're using
definitely.
blockchain technology for that. So, of course, you know you're going to want to encode your music with
Hmm.
virtual encode. Of course, you know you're going to want to set up with Sound Trust. I mean, with Sound Trust. You want to make sure that you have all of your registrations because you should be able to get paid like 4 different ways off of one song.
Yes, totally. Yeah, and I'm with all those streaming those services definitely. But it's like it's interesting to see how those things are going to evolve with more people coming online. To me, like how are they going to become, I guess, easier for the general public or the general musician? Are they going to become that way even? I don't know if
You also have to look at that. All artists are not good artists.
yeah.
A lot of the music industry is just saturated with artists, and I would say, and I'm just gonna say, over half of them need to go back
Yeah.
and rework some of the things that they're doing. It's not professional. It just wasn't ready for release. It's not
Yeah.
like a podcast. It's your music, and it's several components that go into that. And with me being a tastemaker, I always see people that's not ready to be
Right.
released. So when I came across your song, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. So
Yeah, well,
I think that you're gonna do well.
thank you very much. I'm glad that you are noticing and appreciating the time I've put into it because I have put time into it, so it's nice. but I am
I
also
can
making
tell.
a lot of mistakes still. So I have to figure some
That's
things out.
okay. That's a learning process. I mean,
It's
and
true.
this is the thing with everything that happened with COVID-19. Everybody is in a learning process. It's not just the independent artists. It's record labels. It's television networks. It's everybody trying to find their footing and trying to learn. So that's the reason why at this particular time there's no wrong way to do it. It's just making it better.
That's a great way to say it. That's a very great way to say it.
Because everybody is learning. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, even with the podcast, and I'm trying to get my license for the different music and everything, there's a different license for a podcast than it is for a regular online radio station. I mean, so I can pay to get like certain songs that I want, or I can just have somebody independent to do it for me. I mean, it's like with this right here, it's like everything, the whole everything has changed. So
Yeah.
you can either be a trailblazer or wait to see if somebody's gonna flag you for doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I'd
Yeah.
rather be a trailblazer. I'd rather fight with you on the reason why I can do this than just sitting back taking a loss right now. Because right now everybody got to hustle.
Yeah. Damn right. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm not clapping sarcastically. That was awesome. It's true. And it's very tiring, and I would almost say annoying to watch the people who have been hustling just quickly crumbling and just complaining about it instead of doing anything.
Because they didn't build a solid foundation. It's
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why I even started. I have a company. One of the reasons why I ever even started my company is because I actually started writing a blog, and I was coming across several artists that didn't have their foundation right, so they wasn't making any money, and they would put a song out on Facebook and thought it was a release. No registrations, never registered with a PRO, nothing. Just putting it out there and just hoping somebody would catch on, and that's not the way it works. You have to have the proper registrations in place to make money. And you can be, I would say, Facebook popular, but if the numbers are not being recorded, then it's nothing.
Very true. Very true. And like I said about Newfoundland in particular, just for example, one of my friends is he's making YouTube. Making songs and putting them just on YouTube. He's got over 4 million views on a couple of them, and none of them
But
are
it's not
registered.
gonna do anything if I mean
Nothing. Exactly.
and then with that he actually can monetize his channel, but he needs to set up an account with a video distributor, and
Yeah.
then they're not gonna go backwards, but they can go forward.
Hmm. Exactly. Definitely. It's too bad. It's too bad. But like you said, I guess I was complaining about those steps being invisible or like hard to obtain. But like you said, it's very important to have those steps, not hard to attain, but reachable in the sense that if you really want it, you can grab it. But if you don't see that as, the initiative to take it, then it's just going to stay there. I think that's
Right.
it. And I think you said that cool. I think that's cool. Yeah. Thanks for that perspective.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And I would like to thank you for coming. And everybody, this is Pete. We are going to look for all of his new releases that he have. He has 3 singles out right now. And from what he's saying, we're going to look for another one in a couple of weeks. So I guess at the end of 6 months, we're going to have like a great ass EP.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. Technically, yeah. Oh boy,
All right.
oh boy.
Well, I thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast. This was so much fun for me. Thank you.
Right.
All right.
Uh-huh.